What are the 5 lessons financial planners can learn from Gary Vaynerchuk, one of my internet marketing heroes? Coming up in this video. Hello and welcome to this video from me, Martin Bamford. I'm founder of Bamford Media, a creative agency that works with financial planners and others in the professional financial services sector. In this video, I want to share with you 5 lessons for financial planners from one of my internet marketing heroes. That's the legend Gary Vaynerchuk, or Gary Vee. If you've not come across him before, Gary Vaynerchuk, really interesting chap. He was an immigrant to the United States from the Soviet Union. He worked for his father's liquor store, which he rebranded to Wine Library. And then back in 2006, he started Wine Library TV, a daily webcast, a long time before online video was really a thing. Subsequently, he left Wine Library to start his own digital marketing and ad agency, Bamford Media. He started with his brother back in 2009, and that became his full-time thing in 2011. Now, Gary is a prolific content creator. He's author of several books. You may have come across Crush It, but also Jab, 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 Right Hook. And he puts out content on a scary basis. I mean, we're talking videos and articles and social media content like you wouldn't imagine. And that's actually one of the lessons I'm going to share with you we can take away from Gary Vaynerchuk. So let's get right into those 5 lessons for financial planners. Lesson number 1 is prolific content. Gary Vaynerchuk churns out an incredible amount of very high quality content online. And he does this by following what's called the pillar content repurposing strategy. All this means is that he creates a pillar piece of content, typically a web show like a TV show, and then his team chop that up into multiple pieces of content which he shares across different areas of social media. At the moment, his pillar content piece is called Tea with Gary Vee. That's a daily video show where he takes questions and has discussions with his audience, and it lasts for an hour and a half, 2 hours. But from that pillar piece of content each day, he chops it up, or his team chop it up and repurpose it, so it looks like he's just constantly producing content. He becomes prolific as a result. Now, Gary Vaynerchuk has a fantastic team of people around him, Team Gary Vee, who include videographers, editors, writers, social media specialists. So whilst he creates his pillar content and he is the brand, he is the voice of that pillar content, it's his team who are doing that heavy lifting, repurposing it and getting it fit for different purposes, different platforms. As well as having a big team around him, Gary also came up with the idea of documenting his life. So he was one of the first online entrepreneurs to hire a full-time videographer, a chap called D-Rock, whose job it was to follow him around and document and capture moments of his life. And of course, if you've got a videographer following you around, even if they're only filming 2 or 3 hours a day, that's just a way of creating an incredibly high volume of content, which can later be repurposed for multiple channels. So number 1 lesson for financial planners, prolific content. Think about what your pillar content could be, whether that's a podcast interview or a TV show on YouTube, and then how you can go about repurposing that to make yourself prolific, to get your content out there across as many different platforms as humanly possible. Lesson number 2 for financial planners is how to become the digital mayor of your hometown. Now, this was a concept that Gary Vee came up with at a conference back in 2016, and effectively what it means is, as business owners, how do we have a deep knowledge and connection with our local community? I'm a huge believer that the future of business, the future of marketing is hyper local, and that's a move that will only be accelerated during the current coronavirus crisis. Now, hyper local to me means that you're an integral part of your local community. You're the hub of your local community as a business. So you support your local community through sponsorships, by helping to organize events, by being the central part of knowledge and news and updates for members of your local community. And this is a highly effective strategy, and it's one that Gary Vaynerchuk preaches. Now, for financial planners, becoming the digital mayor of your hometown could mean showcasing other local business members, so interview them for a podcast or for a video chat. It could mean sharing news and details of local events once those start up again after the crisis, but also local news, and just becoming a source of local information. Now, as I said, this is a strategy that is very effective, and it's massively underutilized at the moment, particularly by financial planners. It's something I'd love to speak to more financial planners about doing, because I've got some very powerful ideas for how to go high hyperlocal, and how to become the digital mayor of your hometown. Lesson number 3 for financial planners to learn from Gary Vaynerchuk is authenticity. And if you come across any of Gary's content, you'll quickly discover it is not safe for work. Gary drops F-bombs left, right and centre, but it works for him because that is his authentic self. He is the kid that grew up in New Jersey neighbourhoods. He is really that sort of person when it comes to how he expresses himself through language. And he's admitted before on video that using language like he does, cursing as much as he does, means he does have to leave a number of opportunities on the table. There are organisations, there are speaking groups who won't work with him because of his swearing. That's okay, because that is his natural persona. He's not applying some sort of veneer to himself, he's not applying any sort of filter. That's just how he expresses himself, and he is his authentic self. So I think as a financial planner, the key takeaway from the authenticity lesson is, who are you really? Are you really expressing yourself through your branding and through the content you produce as you, as your authentic self? Or are you trying to live up to some sort of expectation, some sort of standard of what a financial planner should look like, how they should speak, how they should act? Authenticity wins every time. Lesson number 4 for financial planners from Gary Vaynerchuk is about consistency and patience. Now, Gary Vaynerchuk was once quoted as saying, "Greatness is born from consistency," and I think that's a fantastic saying. It's worth noting that on a day-to-day basis, Gary moves incredibly quickly. Speed is everything for him in terms of business operations on his day-to-day basis. He is the master of the 3-minute meeting. He has a team of assistants who schedule every single moment of his day into his calendar. He gets an awful lot done on a day-to-day basis. But he also looks and he sees the big picture, and he preaches patience when it comes to that long term. He's 44 years old. He talks about a 50-year career span in terms of his ambitions and achieving what he wants to do. One of his big goals is buying the New York Jets. So, this is a guy with big dreams, big ambitions, and someone that's coined the term hustle culture. Every single day he hustles, he works incredibly hard, he moves at a fast pace, but he never takes his eye off the long-term plan. And it's that combination of consistency and patience, when combined with day-to-day speed, that results in his success. There is no such thing as an overnight success. It takes an awful lot of time to become successful in any field at all, whether you're growing a podcast or growing a YouTube channel or indeed growing a financial planner business. So don't expect quick results, but if you work hard and you work quickly on the micro level, but you have patience and you apply consistency on the macro level, that is the key to success. And then lesson number 5 from Gary Vaynerchuk is all about self-awareness. This is about understanding our strengths and our weaknesses. And the most successful people out there, they play to their strengths, they double down on them, they put all in behind their strengths, but they recognize their weaknesses. And we all have strengths and weaknesses. I've got far too many weaknesses to list, but we all have them. The trick is not to try and improve and strengthen our weaknesses, but to outsource them, to delegate them, to work around them. Double down on your strengths, work around your weaknesses, and that is how you get great results. Now, when it comes to self-awareness, Gary Vaynerchuk also talks about being in touch with your emotions, understanding why you feel how you feel, so what you're feeling and the reasons behind that feelings. But self-awareness is such an important attribute of Gary Vaynerchuk's success, and also, I believe, for financial planner success too. So 5 lessons we can learn from Gary Vaynerchuk. As I mentioned at the start, one of my internet marketing heroes. If you've not checked out his content before, please do go and take a look. Make sure the volume's turned around if you've got young children around. As I mentioned, it is definitely not safe for work, some of it. But he has some fantastic teachings for financial planners. I hope you got some value out of that video. Do leave me a comment below, let me know what you thought. Make sure you press the subscribe button too, that's how you get future updates from the videos we release here at Bamford Media. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Martin Bamford from Bamford Media. I hope this was useful, and I'll see you in the next video. Gary Vaynerchuk was an immigrant to New York back in, I don't know when, before the YouTube. He's a prolific content creator. You may have but also his daily presentations, like the Gary Vee show. We should become an integral part. We should get to know and love. No.